Okay, Fort Wayne firefighter Deputy Chief Adam O'Connor is with us now to get some context and perspective on the situation in Richmond, how they deal with similar situations should they happen here in Fort Wayne. First of all, when you see the fire and this thick black smoke, the size of it all, what goes through your mind here?
So obviously they have a huge incident here, and the thick black smoke indicates there's a lot of fuel load, a lot of hydrocarbons, which would be the same thing fossil fuels are made of.
Because we know plastic is in that building.
And then also a recycling facility, be a lot of plastic more than likely. And so the things you're going to see in that smoke are a lot of cyanide, which is very toxic to human beings. You're going to see a lot of probably actual pieces of rubber and plastic because that thermal column will carry them up. And so I've heard some of your announcements about IDEM or whoever asking them to not pick pieces out of their yards. So what happens is that thermal column will actually carry pretty sizable chunks of plastic up into the air. Once it cools, it will drop into people's yards.
So it's like fallout falling.
There will be fallout, absolutely. And we've seen this here in Fort Wayne with a tire fire 26 years ago.
Okay.
Large chunks of tire landed in northeast Fort Wayne.
Yeah. You've had industrial fires before, so when something like that happens, what do you do when you first get on scene? How do you begin to attack this?
So, I mean, every fire is different, but our firefighters are all operations trained in hazmat. And so when they approach the scene, they're always going to approach from uphill and upwind. They're going to try to knock the fire down if they can. And then eventually that battalion chief or that incident commander is going to have to start weighing out how much water are we putting on this, what kind of runoff issues are we causing, are we going to create a fish kill from things going into the drains. And all that has to be worked out with our hazmat group on the scene. And so here in Fort Wayne, we have a hazmat team with probably 40 hazmat technicians, 12 of them per shift, and then there's some hazmat technicians like myself that are in different positions now, and they would respond to this. They would meter downwind to find out if there is cyanide or hydrocarbons in that smoke,
okay.
And then have to make a decision about whether we're going to protect people in place or we're going to evacuate them. And I believe I heard you say right now they're protecting in place outside of that it was a half-mile evacuation
Yeah,
zone.
people are being told stay inside, shut off the air conditioning,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of thing.
And so we did this 2 years ago. We had a situation at a local plating facility where it was middle of the night. We had some really toxic smoke coming off of it. It was a large fire downtown. And so what we did was we went downwind, had our hazmat technicians try to meter the air, and it was determined that the best thing to do was to leave everybody in their house and not drag them out in the middle of the night into the smoke. And so that worked out pretty well.
My last question for you here is, do you know what you're dealing with? If you roll up to a fire like this, do you know what's inside based on information you've had beforehand? Or?
Yeah, so the first due engine company officer is going to show up, and he or she is going to make an attempt to reach out to like a maintenance person there or some kind of facilities person that's going to have the ability to get them the MSDS sheets. And so the MSDS sheets are going to have, let's say it's a manufacturing facility, they're going to have the basic chemicals, and they're also going to have some very initial action type actions to do when they get on the scene. That may be everything from evacuation to extinguishment to whatever it's called for. So yes, that is the plan, is to try to get that information. And then it doesn't matter whether you're a civilian or a firefighter, you always want to approach something like this uphill and upwind, or from the windward side, so the smoke is not blowing in your face. And so I'm assuming that they're directing their evacuations based on that plume of smoke that's heading whatever direction that is.
Right, blowing to the west, toward the east towards Ohio, yeah.
Yeah, so they're probably evacuating that area depending on whether they expect that wind to change, whether they expect it to switch or not.
Okay, well, every day's different in the job of firefighting.
It
Risks are
is
abundant in the job. Thanks for being here and giving us a little bit of insight into how this kind of thing works. Adam O'Connor, the Fort Wayne Fire Department, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Yeah. Have a good night.
You too.